Let not hate rule thy heart. Let not fear break thy will. Let not wrath cloud thy mind. Let not midnight stand eternal. Blades and Blasters presents Eternal Midnight by Rogue. This is Demon Gate, a fantasy setting filled with horror and grief. Keep your fires high, else perish in the darkness.
And at the end of days, the first sign shall appear in the heavens. Justice shall fall upon the world of men. The armies of light and shadow will clash across the fields of eternity.
You're live-ish. Hey everybody, welcome to Blades and Blasters and another episode of Demon Gate. I'm Rogue, I'll be your Game Master tonight. And we are joined by Slip playing Keltiel, and Tet is playing Wrath, Matihi is playing Yuya, and Ghost as the Hunter. And we should be having a special guest tonight. We'll see if he pops in soon. Yeah, if you've been following along, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you're interested in the system at all, check it out at www.arcanumsyndicate.com. The remains of the rotting bear are burned and buried now. 'Tis a good thing it was so weak and hungry. It went down with a lot less struggle than any had imagined. It was burned now, returned to the snows, just as all that had crossed your path and threatened you thus far. The snow falls slowly as you head north towards Skorraey. To the northwest, you can see the mountains, white-capped, tremendous, now that you are getting closer. They are almost terrifying, while at the same time beautiful, as the wind blows across the black, jagged peaks that are partially covered in white ice. The frost sprays over the valley beneath it. When the winds reach a high gust, it seems as if the mountain is spewing forth sparkling ice. Yet the mountains actually protect the entire valley from the harsh chill. It still has yet to reach dangerously cold temperatures, for it is still only fall. Yet when the winter comes and the Algor covers the land in cold darkness, all in these lands know that it is time to hide away. That would be a good time to be in the city, a place well guarded from things that wander in the dark. When the Algor comes, keep by the warm fires and feast off of what has been stored and saved for the winter. The common farewell is always heard, keep the fires high. You all know very well it has already kept many of the wolves, and even possibly the Varg, from coming closer to you. The power of your magic fire, as Avos had called it, the power of light, right now is still strong among you. The dream shared by all those who slept during the night is but an afterthought for those who make a willpower check, target number 5. Those who do not roll a success have a harder time shaking the dream from their heads. And you guys can go ahead and make that now, if like. Those that slept, anyway. The look of the guilt, all turning toward you in the dark, their eyes glowing like as if they were glaring into a dying fire. The beast as well, that stood nearly 8 feet tall, wore antlers that rose even higher. It too held those penetrating eyes of fire. Seemed like it was made of cursed wood, bones, and rotten fur. And as its taloned hand stretches towards you, it is welcoming you to join it. To join it and the rest of the Gelt. Then you awoke to the fire. All was well, just a dream. You had packed up and were on the road to Skorraey, again in no time the next day. It seems you have made good time, though, even with a couple of dangers. Keltiel, you remember this part of the road as it bends around and the clear shot of the mountains and the waterfalls like long icicles in the distance. Avos turns over his shoulder. Those mountains there are said to once have been the home of the great dragons, the winter worms. Dragons that once ruled this world. An old hunter I knew many years ago said he saw one in the mountains. Ha! Old fool. He froze to death a decade ago in the Algor, they say. A ranger I know said they found him when the day returned frozen, hand outstretched, reaching for something. Wonder what he was reaching for. I wonder what he saw then. You guys can go ahead and...
How close are we to Skorraey from here?
Should be one more night of camping.
Keltiel will be pointing out the waterfalls. We are close now. Just one more night. We just need to make it one more night here.
I think one more night isn't going to be any trouble.
And Yuya has been kind of watching as Keltiel's been pointing out on the waterfall. You can see the fascination in her eyes, being wide as she stared at them, frozen in place.
Then the water is thawed. It is. You can hear them. Even from here you can hear them. Like a soft roaring in the distance.
Maybe after the Algar, they can come back. I should probably be doing more traveling myself.
Wrath has been in a surly mood ever since he's woken this morning. He's not said a whole lot. He's cast disdainful glances to everyone. When you say that, he simply says, "Perhaps you should travel south away from this frigid place. People who make their homes here are fools."
And Yuya smiles to Wrath.
Well, if we hadn't been making our home here, then we wouldn't have found you. You might be in a spot of trouble.
It was destiny.
Yes, the moon goddess willed it.
Perhaps something did. This moon goddess, I think not.
Oh, that's alright then. You don't fully believe Wrath. You will one day.
Pah.
I wonder in Skorraey if they will know more about what is causing this affliction among the animals. It's so disturbing. I even dreamt of it. This
I
Yeah, nods to Keltia.
I did too.
Oh,
Are they all staring at you?
Keltia looks at her sister with a strange expression on her face. Yes, they were. And there was someone else there.
I looking to be made of bone and flesh and furs.
and she looks to Wrath.
What about you?
What about me?
You haven't any dreams there? You seem to be going a bit in and out.
The dreams haunt my mind as they haunt your mind. There is something peculiar about this place, something that I do not remember but is familiar, something beyond my grasp, beyond my mind. We would do well to be wary.
Of course.
Hunter, Avos, what of you? I thought at first maybe it was just sisters sharing a dream. But if Rat had it too,
I saw the same thing.
Maybe there's definitely something here. Something cursed.
maybe those witches, the witches in the caves, trying to play with our minds.
Maybe they be plaguing plaguing Skorraey too. Maybe we can help.
If Skorraey still stands.
Oh, don't say that.
Why not?
Well, it's no good keeping a bit of a negative attitude towards it. Might still hope for the best.
And she looks to Hunter and smiles.
It's better to be prepared for the worst than to expect the best.
Oh, then you're not really living in the moment now. Living more in the future.
Old man, let me ask you a question. Wrath bursts in, ignoring the rest of you. You seem to know things about this place. Are there legends of an underground city in the mountains, perhaps? Anything of this nature?
Oh, yes. I have heard of several.
And?
I've heard of the Goblin City under there, and I've heard of the witches in the caves. I think they were maybe human sacrifices or something like that. And of course the dragon caves, but I've never heard of anyone that's seen them, just the old stories when I was little.
Well, according to this journal, the witches are at least something real. Up to some mischief, maybe.
Could be.
Yes, that's for sure. He kind of laughs and mutters something under his breath.
Rat doesn't seem particularly pleased with the answers that Avos has given. He doesn't say anything, but draws back to himself again, frowning, pulling his cloak close.
Yuya looks down too, Hunter walking outside.
Hunter, I hate to inquire so much, but at some point maybe you think we could do that shooting? Or to be prepared and all.
When we make camp.
Alright, alright. You promised the morning last time.
Everyone was in a hurry.
I'm fine. And make sure to hold you to it.
Hmm.
We are going slow. You could practice now. Just keep it pointed in the other direction.
Of course, sister.
And she smiles at Keltiel.
I'm not gonna be aiming at the cart. Alright with that, Hunter?
Hmm. Sure.
And Yuya quickly searches the wagon for an extra bow and a few arrows. Hops out of the wagon from the back. Joins Hunter walking beside him.
Hunter will, whenever she's next to him, look at her for a moment, then look at some of the passing trees, and will watch.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and knock and fire an arrow at one of the trees.
And
Nice.
So the arrow would fly and stick out of one of the sides of the tall standing trees that they're passing by, and he would look at Yuya and kind of look around, look at her. Where's your bow?
oh, she grabbed one. I need a bow macro.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I'll add that right now for you.
She grabbed it. She grabbed a few arrows.
And look at her and
Put up.
did you see how I shot?
Let me see if I can imitate it.
And she'll stop for a moment and fiddle with the arrow. I'm trying to get it in the right place. You can see her struggling a bit as she pulls it back.
So you have the proficiency now, but no plus in it, right?
No.
There you go.
Oh,
That's a
it's a rolled club. I rolled.
That's actually the bow, but it's I have written down there, club. I'll change that.
So Yuya knocks back the arrow. It takes her a moment as she's pulling back. She has her elbow out a little bit too far before she kind of self-corrects, pulling back the arrow and easily lets it fly, letting it sit right beside our hunter shot. And she turns to him and smiles.
Like that?
Make the form again.
Alright.
She kind of excitedly takes another arrow, this time knocking it a lot faster.
Nice.
And she ends up, she shoots And she ends up pinpointing the arrow kind of right between the other two. So they're now, or so they're in like a little 3 line.
It's a good start. And then he kind of goes over and looks at the form a bit. Slight elbow correction, but not much. And rather brusquely about it as well. Not very dainty about it. It's kind of lifts your elbow very slightly. That's good.
Thanks.
It's different when you have to hit something that's moving, though. Trees aren't difficult to hit, but it's a good start.
Well, next time there's something moving, I'll aim for that.
We're gonna go over and collect the arrows and look at the cart pulling away a bit. We'll catch up with the cart. We'll keep shooting at trees along the way.
Aye.
And she makes her way hustling up and catching up with the cart. She kind of smiles at Keltiel and waves with the bow in her hand.
I shot really well.
I saw. So good. You are a natural, sister.
Aye, sister.
You can see Yi is extremely pleased with herself.
Why practice when you have the goddess on your side? She should certainly guide your arrows against flesh.
Ah, yes, she guides my arrows, but if I just went in blindly, not practicing anything, not practicing my healing, not practicing, or like, at least reading up on the exorcisms, anything like that, I wouldn't be doing the moon goddess any just work. Putting no effort into anything is insulting.
Slovenly.
Exactly. You know, she doesn't reward slobs. That's why I'm not.
People who don't clean up their own vomit and such, they're very looked down on in the goddess's eyes.
It is a good thing I do not give a shit what the goddess likes or does not like.
Maybe we should. Maybe we wouldn't be leaving swords in strange places.
Perhaps. He just stares at you.
There's a little bit of a smirk to him before grabbing more arrows.
Do you not remember anything else about why you are here? You don't seem to have any head injuries. It is very strange to not remember.
I do not. Nothing concrete. Images here, images there. Some things I remember well. Some things I remember not at all. All jumbled about. It is confusing.
You remember no traveling companions?
Only her.
Who is her?
No one. Worry not of it.
Keltia looks like she's going to press the issue, but she just shakes her head and presses her lips together. You are very strange.
I suppose I would be to you, and your kind.
What exactly is my kind?
Humans.
She scoffs. What? In the south, are they not human?
I have never been to the south. That I am aware.
You do not think you are human, then?
No, I am not.
Keltiel is looking a little concerned, like I'm in the wagon with a madman. What are you then?
It is not so simple as that. It is not clear. I do not even know what you would call it.
You look human to me, but you are very strange.
Yes, humans were made in our image.
What?
It is what I remember. I cannot explain it, as I have said. Perhaps one day I shall deem fit to do so. When I remember. If I remember.
Well, for your sake, I do hope that your mind clears soon.
As do I. He looks you up and down for a moment. But says nothing.
You notice Avos seems a bit quiet by your conversation and maybe even a little nervous for some reason.
Avos, you never said. Did you have the same dream?
Oh no, I had no dream. Just the usual bad dreams. You know, my son and everything.
Is it your will to have another child, old man?
Yes, perhaps I would like a daughter this time. Maybe, you know.
What about these two? They are fertile, young. He nods to Keltiel, but Yuya's not there, so he can't actually indicate her, but it's clear who he's talking about.
And Keltiel just shoots him a glance that is not happy. I am not the motherly type, I think.
Have the child, give it to a wet nurse. What does it matter?
Maybe he prefers blondes. He looks at Wrath. She looks at Wrath.
He seems embarrassed at first and like almost as if he's kind of looking to see her reaction to the question afterwards, and then he just laughs it off and goes back to being embarrassed and driving the cart.
Keltiel just kind of pats him on the shoulder in kind of a rough and friendly way. The way you attacked that bear was very impressive. I'm sure that someday you will find a woman who is worthy of you.
Thank you. I'm a foolish old man. That is all. Very foolish.
Don't know. Not a fool. Very brave.
Wrath is looking between the two of you. His face is completely blank, like he doesn't really understand why this would be awkward or funny. Is that a no, then? I can step out of the wagon.
If that was my wish, then that would be between me and Avos, and you need not involve yourself.
He shrugs. I was only attempting to help.
She
Obviously.
she she would probably be best to find a younger man.
I'm not in the market for a man. I have other things on my mind. At least not one who wishes me to settle down at this time. There's too much of the world to see.
Aye, aye. He nods, and he says, yes, many things to do. Still very young. Kind of drifts away on the trail with his eyes and deep in thought.
After he turns away, Keltiel gives Wrath an elbow.
He looks at her and, what are you doing? I
She
do not
just-
wish to train you as the hunter is training your sister.
What are you trying to do here?
He said that he wished a child. You are a
Ah,
woman.
she just elbows him again. This conversation is over.
He shrugs. Very well. I will not bring it up again. I will talk to your sister about it.
She looks at him for a minute and then grins. Yes, that is a good idea.
He shrugs. From my estimation, I believe she would have more difficulty bearing children than you. Your hips are wider.
She just presses her lips together and it looks like she is really trying hard to restrain herself. She clenches her fists and says, well, I have not had any complaints so far about my hips, but that is beside the point.
He just leans back and holds his Bible to his chest.
1 minute you are stripping in front of a priestess, and the next you are hugging your scriptures. You are strange indeed.
He doesn't reply.
The remainder of the trail, will Keltiel be searching for any alchemical ingredients?
Yeah, I mean, she'll just do it periodically, kind of take breaks to warm up in the wagon, get out and start foraging when she sees some likely territory. Whenever she's
Alright.
out, she encourages her sister.
And eventually, Yia comes back. You can see her kind of shaking at her right arm, with the bow in her left.
Ah, that's kind of exhausting. Not sure how you do it, Hunter.
Lots of practice.
I need to get more of that.
And she hops back up into the cart.
Hope you two have been getting along.
Yes, it's been pleasant. I will let you have a turn in the wagon while I hunt for some herbs. She
Sure.
gives Wrath a hard look.
Yui looks over at Wrath as she sits down.
Want me to read to you again?
Yes. He passes the book over to her. Please.
Aye.
And she actually makes her way over and sits beside Wrath.
Look, I am fine with reading to you and everything, but I'm gonna teach you a few words, alright?
Yes.
I mean, you can speak it. Shame you can't read it yet.
I believe that at one point I could. He frowns deeply.
Hey, don't worry. And make sure you're getting back up to reading levels. As long as we're traveling together.
He nods.
She leans over, opening the book so he can see it too. And she'll kind of start reading out and kind of going over words specifically, usually the easier words.
He follows along as intently as he can.
And for the book there, I had placed, I think you should both have access to it, the prayer guide of the one God. It goes over what the chapters pretty much are like when you do get a chance to read it. Look it over. I'm kind of following it along with this story as you guys are reading it together. And what the second chapter contains the stories about creation. The third chapter speaks about the dragons coming to the world and escaping the dying stars of their worlds. And then the fourth chapter speaks of the Maker and the Everwar. It names some of the angels, and I wanted to mention this chapter was mesmerizing to Wrath, for it speaks of some of the angels and their servitude as legions to the one God.
So he's read this, or she's read this chapter to him already before?
Yeah, this is where I think you guys will be at right now, is during the chapter on the Maker and the Everwar.
Yeah, so when you would get to the end and he hears Wrath, Vengeance, he looks like his eyes go super wide, and then he notices that there's pages torn. Why? Where are they? This is not... And he tries to see how many pages he thinks are torn out, just kind of flipping through it.
No grabbing.
And she
There are pages torn here. It speaks of me.
I see. I don't know if it speaks directly of you. I mean, it's a book after all.
I am Wrath. It says Wrath, you had said.
That's your name, Wrath. You really think you'll see one of these books?
Who else would it be?
I meet many people named Wrath, and again, I meet many people in general. Could be many people named Wrath. Plus, this is talking about angels and vanguards.
Exactly.
You're an angel.
She cocks an eyebrow.
He looks at her, deadpanned. Yes.
You can see Yuya looking up at Wrath. Her kind of mouth contorts a bit as she looks to be holding something in. She looks down to her lap, takes a deep breath, and looks back up at Wrath.
Oh, I mean, if that's what you want to believe, sure. You're an angel.
Yes, as I said, that is true. He doesn't catch her sarcasm, apparently.
So, being one of these angels, meet any other angels?
I know of many angels.
Oh. Cool.
I know that I know them. I do not remember their names except her. He points down to the page. exactly to the letter or the word that you had said that reads vengeance. Her.
Aye, that's vengeance.
Did you say whose vengeance?
I said that's
Yeah.
vengeance.
Yes, vengeance. That is her name.
What exactly is she, but besides an angel? Your friend?
She is mine and I am hers.
Oh, so you're married?
Marriage is a human covenant. This is far more unbreakable.
I'm still finding it hard. You're a bit, out of the ordinary, I will say, Wrath. Around us as humans and all of that, but I mean no offense by this, but I'm having trouble believing that you're an angel. I mean, you're here after all.
I do not blame you. I takes a deep breath. I could prove it if I so wished, but I do not. There is no need. I have nothing to benefit from it. I only ask that you keep reading me this book.
Alright, well, we're at the end now. What?
Wait, is this the end of the book, or is there more after this?
There is more. There's from the book was when you found it was sitting in a pit, almost half buried. So there are some pages missing, and it was kind of damaged a little bit. But there's it's still a full book, and I think you're only on the 4th chapter, and there's like 12 chapters.
Well, we'll keep reading then. And, you let me know if you see any more of your friends there.
He kind of grunts and reaches back to take the book, looking down at the page where you had read his name.
That you can always read later. If you want to look at it. It's not going to be going anywhere.
Yes, I would like to look at this. And you see him take his finger across that line over and over and over again, like he's memorizing those words.
And she says it to him in Enochian, just so we can get the phrase.
And so you travel on for quite a few more hours until it is about to be nighttime. A good place to set up camp, a good time to set up camp to give you enough before nighttime, enough daylight left. So Evos is pretty quiet, and whoever wants to make their skill rolls can make their skill rolls if you're searching for a good camping spot, or if you're looking for food or anything like that, you can make your skill checks now.
Yi is gonna do her usual prayers, walking away from the group and
I don't have
praying
sight.
away.
Did my bonus for wart cunning get added to my plant lore roll? I don't. Oh, that's for availability.
No sight left on you?
Yeah, I don't see anything.
Does anybody else have sight?
I have it.
I've got
I
it.
do.
Just make sure my token has sight, or that it's in
Okay.
the right layer.
I can see the fire, but that's it. And half the screen's black.
Yeah, I see nothing.
Let's see here.
Might need a click for someone, but I don't know about the site.
Just the two things I would check is make sure that that token is
Oh.
attached to my character sheet, and make sure the token has sight. And then make sure the token's in the correct layer. There you go.
There it is.
Yep.
For some reason. Oh, maybe when the I was doing the double-sided token thing. Maybe that's what happens. Might have changed it then. All right. As you guys are setting up camp, everybody go ahead and make perception checks as well. And sorry, Keltiel, I had missed what you were talking about. What did you ask?
I was
before?
trying to figure out what wort cunning did. I think it's
Oh,
the
okay.
availability. It adds 10% to the availability or something.
Oh, yeah.
Anyway, she rolled a 9 on plant lore.
Okay, excellent. And I'll get those for you. Keltiel, Yuya, and Wrath. You're both, you guys are setting up camp. Avos is over there making a fire. Hunter, what will you be doing?
At this point, his prerogative was either setting traps or cooking the meal. So it's one of the two.
Okay. So you're probably setting traps at this point. And you guys have a great view kind of out over the valley and everything. And it's like I was saying before, should be one more day towards Skorraey. And you barely hear anything out of the woods, no crunching of the snow, no snapping of the twigs, but a figure does kind of appear around the corner. Farthnar, go ahead and tell us what that looks like. How would you do that?
Farthnar had kind of been following them for a while, keeping his distance, trying to identify who they were, and eventually he recognizes Avos amongst the group, and knowing him, he kind of quietly makes his way to the camp and kind of unveils himself, not to startle them too much, but it's kind of a younger to early, maybe late 20s individual, early 30s, dark hair, bushy beard, bow in one hand. Clearly someone who spends a lot of time out in the woodlands. And he kind of eyes the different members of the group, waiting to see who notices him first, and then kind of calls out to Avos. Avos, where did you dig up this group of strays?
Ha! He smiles and looks around at everybody. Farthnar, this is the ranger I was telling you about. Come, join us by the fire.
At his appearance, Keltiel had turned in surprise and kind of jumped reflexively in front of her sister. Farthnar would notice that the two girls look remarkably similar, but one of them is wearing white robes and the other one is just wearing normal furs and regular clothing.
Farthnar looks at the two women and kind of seeing they look very much alike, and one of them jumping kind of harumphs and grumbles and goes, "Don't worry. If I meant you harm, you'd already be dead." And just like shuffles into the camp and looks them all over and looks at the hunter and goes, "What are you guys doing in this area?"
And the hunter looks at Farthnar and heading north to Skorraey.
We are transporting the priestess and her sister. The Jarl needs their assistance in an exorcism, if you would believe that.
On a normal year, I wouldn't, but with some of the things I've been seeing recently, it seems definitely reasonable.
What have you seen?
I don't know how much you guys have seen, but there's some sort of sickness coming through this area. The game, they'll have some sort of wasting disease, some sort of rot. I don't know how much you've talked to the Jarls in the area, but they're concerned about their food storage as the winter comes. I've been investigating, but to not much avail. I've heard a few things, but nothing makes sense.
Keltiel, hearing him talk about this, sort of pats the ground near them, indicating that he should have a seat near them. So you have seen this disease too. We have run into it several times with the wolves and with a giant bear. Is it everywhere then?
It seems that way. And it's not just the animals. It's the game. It's the predators. It seems like some of the humanoids, some of the orcs, some of the barbarians out of the north possibly are affected by this contagion as well. I've never seen anything like it.
A contagion, you say?
I do.
I was worried about this. And she looks at Wrath's bite wound.
His wound seems to heal. Strangely, he seems fine. No, there's no sign of any type of disease maybe spreading or in the blood.
Wrath, who has not made himself, not introduced himself at all or said anything, is sitting by the fire, doing nothing. He's leaning forward on his elbows and turned to look at the ranger. He simply blurts out, "A curse has come to these lands, clearly. Something is spreading. I do not believe it is a simple disease. I have dreamt of such things."
Farthnar kind of stares at Wrath and thinks about what he's saying and, well, dreams, that's not evidence. But I rely on what my eyes see, and something's coming out of the north. It's spooking the Undar, if I'm pronouncing that correctly. They normally, they're pretty vicious and self-sufficient. And it almost seems like they're fleeing from something, and they're moving into these lands. I've been dealing with them on and off for the past few months.
We were attacked by them as well. Not very effectively. They seemed weak, starving.
It makes sense if the game here is rotting. If it is indeed coming from the north, who knows how bad it is up there.
Have you been to Skorraey recently?
I am known well there, but I haven't been there recently.
I was hoping you might know about what we would expect, but if you have not been there, then you probably do not know.
I don't. It's been at least a month since I've been there. I've been spending most of my time out here in the woods, scouting, hunting criminals for the Jarls, and coming across the occasional orc or goblin.
Besides the animals, have you seen anything else strange?
There is one thing, but I didn't believe what my eyes saw. It was a cave.
Keltiel leans forward. What did you see there?
I followed a group of to this cave, this cavern, and they almost seemed, it's hard to describe, undead. I spoke with, of all things, an orc, and he kind of confirmed what I had seen. They almost looked like their eyes glowed with some sort of internal evil.
Where was
Keltiel
this?
turns to Hundria.
You ever heard of Dead Man's Cavern?
Archer thinks on it. Have I, Rose?
Yeah, actually, you told him about it. You told him about it before. That's what made you go look for. That's where you actually found Wrath.
Hunter
Do you
looks
guys
at-
know what knockers are?
Eva says, I've heard of them. The goblins. Kind of goblin, right?
Yes, sir. It seems that they're suffering the same thing. Suffering from the same thing we are. Looks like their food's vanishing. It's rotting in caves. It's becoming poisoned almost. And that it's being overrun with the undead.
I'm going to this cave. That's where I found him. Point out Wrath. Frozen.
It's dangerous.
We have a job to do first. It all may be related. This exorcism, this haunted cabin, and the rumors of the witches, and these undead. We should take it slow and find out what we can before rushing in.
I'll make sure that the priestess gets to Skorraey, like I said. But when we get there, I'm going to ask around, and then I'm going.
And her.
Yuya turns to him.
You can't do it alone.
I've done it alone before.
Yeah, you've done it alone before. And now you're with us. There's no reason to go it alone if we're gonna help.
You don't have to.
I don't have to do anything. That is what I think the moon goddess wants. So I shall go.
Fine.
There she goes, I go.
I have a few scalps to turn into the Jarl there. I suppose I could go with you and then assist you on this. This is my territory, my home, if you will. What's happening there is definitely affecting me, and it affects the villages as well. I will come with you.
Someone who is familiar with the terrain would be quite useful.
Hunter looks at Wrath and Do I see his eyes glowing?
Yeah,
Looks like that.
he's staring at the fire and his eyes are glowing pale blue, almost radiating brighter than the fire in front of him. He is completely oblivious to everything around him. And then suddenly his eyes blink and he stands up and he takes a huge breath and falls forward onto his hands and knees.
Ivos jumps back from the camp, the fire.
Yui actually hurries over. Wrath? Right? Wrath, are you okay?
He looks up, his eyes shining, and then suddenly go out as his eyes begin to blink. And he seems to kind of recognize where he is and simply nods.
What happened?
I attempted to look into the north. I do not know what I saw. Have not done that for I do not know. It is. I do not remember. What was it I saw? He rubs his face and gets to a knee and stands up. Seems oblivious to anything going on around him. I was
Yuya.
flying, he says, and then turns to Yuya.
And she just looks up at him from her seated position.
Flying. Walking to the north? What? What exactly are you talking about?
This sickness drove me away. I was not strong enough to see.
Ivos is kind of pointing at you, and his mouth's still kind of open. And he says, "You are telling the truth. You are not human, are you?"
No. That is what I have been saying. He looks to everyone and, even in the cold, unclasps his cloak, letting it drop to the ground. He reaches back, pulls his shirt off, and turns to show you his back. Where his shoulder blades are two pits, as if something was dug out, ripped, torn asunder. My wings have been taken, but I will find them and destroy this darkness. I was brought here for a reason.
Hi, the goddess. You really are.
Ivos steps back a few feet, and he turns and walks away from the fire and away from the camp.
And Keltiel stands and walks over and kind of probes at the place where he says his wings used to be.
Farthner kind of stares at Wrath and then kind of follows Avos for a sec.
Wrath doesn't put any, doesn't wince or anything. I don't know what they specifically look like, Rogue. You would have to tell me, but He allows you to inspect them as he shivers from the cold.
Yeah, I'd imagine they're probably the scars, at least, of what used to be there. You being within a new body in the Nephilim form too, probably wouldn't be so like super prominent.
Yeah. They just look like nasty scars, but very symmetrical on his back.
She wrinkles her forehead. Well, either you are what you say, or you are a madman. Only time will tell. She lowers her hands to her side.
Yuya gets up to her feet. She picks up Wrath's clothes and hands it to him.
You're gonna get your coat like that.
He takes the clothes back and says, "That is the least of our worries." And then
Hi.
he looks over to Hunter. "This cave, I shall accompany you."
If that's what you wish.
It is not what I wish, it is what I am meant to do.
Hunter nods and then pushes a bowl of stew into Wrath's chest.
He takes it as he's getting dressed again.
You can see Yuya watching Wrath very intently.
I knew there's a reason. You're definitely sent here.
Yes, but not by who you think. There is but one God.
She shakes her head.
That's... The moon goddess works in very mysterious ways sometimes, and this makes sense, yes. Everything going on. You're the key to it all.
He sits back down. You know nothing.
I don't think it's my job to know anything, to interpret what signs that I get. If there's anything I can do for you.
He looks up at her. Keep reading to me. This book might have the answers that we need.
And she smiles.
Of course. Of course.
She'll take her own bowl of stew and start eating it, sitting beside near Wrath.
Farthnar is going to walk up to Avos as he looks out into the dark and kind of quietly asks him, I didn't want to say this in front of your traveling companions, but things are not looking good up here. Are you sure they're up for whatever they come across? I'm not worried about you or Hunter, but the two women and this guy with the things on his back, are you sure about them?
He looks kind of sad, and he's looking towards the ground for a minute, and like he's unsure of how to answer and everything. He says, "They are capable. The one who is the one with the broken wings, the angel man. He is a capable fighter. The girls are too. They will be okay, but I don't think any of us are really ready for what is happening."
Varthner kind of just stands quietly for a moment, and he knows Avos and he knows his experience and trusts his judgment, and finally nods and puts a hand on his shoulder and goes, I'll take your word for it, but sleeping on an empty stomach won't help you prepare. Why don't you come back with me and sit around the fire?
He nods, and about that time, Hunter walks up with the bowl of food there. And that's when he says, he nods and thanks to Hunter. This troubles me. I do not know what it is, but
What troubles you?
where did you find this one?
In the same cave that he speaks of.
The dead man's cavern.
Yes.
Were there more like him?
Not that I could see, no. He was frozen in ice.
You said you went there?
I did.
How many undead were there?
There were none, right, Rube?
No, you didn't end up encountering any, actually. You found it had collapsed.
Most of it was collapsed. There were none that I could see. But, to be honest, when I saw the man frozen there, and he was still alive, I decided taking him back was the best action at that time.
I hope that that cavern stays sealed then, because there were, based on what I was told, a huge number of them, of the undead. Something that a group of ours would be incapable of handling.
I disagree.
Avos looks over at Hunter, kind of shocked by his comment, and you would charge headlong into 100 of them,
No,
wouldn't you?
I would let them charge headlong into me, and let them trip themselves the whole way.
I understand. I think I understand your pain.
No, you don't.
He looks kind of filled with regret and still worried for some reason, and takes his food. Thank you again, and starts to walk back over towards the fire.
Keltiel places her bowl down beside her. I have lost my appetite. We should set a watch again. Bartnar, will you take a spot in our watch?
I will. I'll take first and last watch.
I don't think that will be necessary. There are 6 of us. We should all be as fresh as we can.
Varthner kind of sits down and he goes, if you say so, but I'm more than capable of it. It seems you guys have been a little more hard-pressed than I.
It has been an eventful journey. But we are so close now. Very well. You take first watch. Wake me up when you are done.
I will.
Hunter would speak with Farthnar, and I set traps there, there, and there, and he'd just point out where he put traps at. They're not difficult, simple noisemakers, tripwires, just so you know where they are.
Good thinking. Simple works out here. I'll be sure not to spring your own traps.
Thanks.
With that, Farthnar kind of sits down and eats some food and kind of small talks with them about their travel.
And Yuya looks to Farthanar and gives him a smile.
I don't think that we're properly introduced. I'm Priestess Yuya.
Oh, yes, I am not Priestess Keltiel.
No, just Keltiel. My sister.
Sisters are yeah. I could tell.
I usually the hair.
He kind of laughs to no personal joke, but doesn't really say anything.
Yes, we are from Geltarn, like Avos. You know Hunter as well as Avos.
I do. I make my way there from time to time. Speak with the Jarls about what's going on in the surrounding areas. Let them know about the Undar tribes coming down from the north. But haven't come across you guys before. Avos many times, but this is the first time I've seen you two. So, welcome to the Great Wilderness.
You must not stop at the temple often then.
Or at all.
Oh, no, I have not made many trips there in a long time.
Well, there's always time to be making trips.
I'm busy. He kind of cuts it short.
Well, many people are busy. That's what they say. Also, many people need to have faith. Any excuses you can make in life. If you make too many, you're bound to miss out on a lot of things.
Barthnar is not really. You can tell by his body language he's not really comfortable talking about it. He kind of blurts out, "My reasons are my own." Lets it kind of sit.
Oh, well, it'll come around one day.
That's what you keep saying to me too, sister.
You should have a long life, sister. You're gonna come around one time or another.
She just smiles fondly at her sister and shakes her head.
Kinda would wait. Though you shouldn't keep her waiting for too long.
I think gods are incredibly patient.
Aye, don't you want their blessings?
Keltiel looks at Wrath, points to him. If that is an example of an angel, then that only confirms my opinion of the gods. And she says it with kind of a wry smile, but a little bit of bitterness.
You know, based on everything that I've been reading in this book, in that power book there, each of them seems to be embodying something. Embodying some sort of emotion. Something like that. He's just maybe another embodiment.
She looked to Wrath.
He is eating his stew, looking at the fire. It's unclear if he's even listening to what you're saying. And he eventually says, without turning his head, I do not remember exactly. I am Wrath. That is what I remember. I feel no particular emotion. But you should not talk about things such as tomorrow or the next day to worship the gods or to do what you wish. For it is likely that our bodies will be driven into the snow, dead soon enough, if we do not prevail. If there are things that you would say or do, you should do them now. I find that humans are wary of speaking the truth, doing the truth, their truths. Humans die quickly and waste their lives with worry. Takes another bite.
Well, I never thought I would agree with you, but I have to say, living to live, that has always been my way.
Farthnar kind of harumps again and goes, you must be great with children. And then kind of looks over to Keltia and kind of nods and goes, live while you can. It's too short. And he is right about that.
Yes. This cold, dark area of the world, you grab what warmth you can.
He's just looking kind of between Keltiel and Farthnar. She narrows her eyes a little bit, the two of them, before kind of snapping back into a smile.
Lady, if the two of you believe that living is just to be living for yourselves and not for some greater purpose, so be it. You'll be judged in the end, but live as you might.
It's not just about me, sister. I care about
No.
other people too. And she just gives her a smile and a meaningful nod.
And Yuya kind of flashes a quick smile over at Keltiel before turning back to Wrath.
He's simply staring into the fire. His bowl is empty. If he notices you looking at him, he doesn't show it.
She looks down at the book and back up to him.
You want me to be reading tonight?
It takes a while for him to respond, but he finally breaks his gaze from the fire and then nods every night until we finish.
I can do. Give me the book here.
He pulls it out of his sack and hands it to her.
She takes it and gently opens it again to where they were. Again, sits so he can read it too. Again, starts reading it to her.
Oh, seems a little agitated for a minute for some reason. He's going through his pack and he looks over at Wrath and says, "What are you doing when you look at the fire? And your eyes, they did that before. We thought it was the drink, but it happened again. What are you doing there?"
I am trying to see into distant places, into distant times. I have a sight, the sight of far seeing. I cannot control it. I do not remember how.
You said times, like in the past?
Yes,
What about the future?
that is what well, as I say, I am not proficient at controlling it, not exactly. When I looked into the fire earlier, I simply looked into the north and thought of the darkness that spread. I am unsure if it was the present, the future, the past, but I was driven away. Is there something you want me to see for you, old man?
I was thinking maybe it would be good to see into the future. See maybe what's going to happen. What's going to happen to us?
He considers. I can try, but remember this. I do not know if what I am seeing is truth. It may be misleading. I am not as strong as I once was, cast down here in this shell of my former self. And Wrath for Farthnars, he's an extremely tall figure, well muscled. When he took his shirt off, covered in runes. If you wish me to look, I will.
He looks a bit nervous for a second, looking around at everybody, and just perhaps maybe to see for the fate of the ladies at least.
And if I tell you they are eaten alive by undead, will that sway your resolve?
He stares at the fire for a long time before answering and says, perhaps not. I mean, perhaps we would have turn around and leave. And then he looks over to Keltiel and Yuya. Almost.
Perhaps we decide where we go and Davos doesn't.
I have been leaving now. When Goddess has charged me with something, I'm gonna go whether or not if Wrath sees me eaten alive by something means it's meant to happen.
Still, it might be interesting to see what happens as long as he does not have another fit and fall into the fire.
Well, if he does, I can make sure to heal him up.
I might put him out.
Wrath is just sitting there waiting for a decision. He looks to Hunter. And you, what would you have me do? It is perhaps a burden to know one's fate.
And Hunter, kind of laying down not far away, looks at Wrath, and I already know what my fate is. It makes no difference to me.
Wrath slowly looks to the newcomer.
I don't need to know my future. I make my own fate.
Well, he just sits there. I will let you decide, old man.
He kind of looks reluctantly again towards the girls and then says, perhaps it is good that we do not know.
Rat simply nods. I will sleep then.
Yes, it grows dark. We should sleep now, so we can get an early start for Skorraey.
Aye, only one more day's travel and we'll be there.
She hands Wrath back the book.
He takes it and tucks it away.
Farthnar kind of stands up and offers a hand to Keltia and tells her, I'll wake you up in a few hours. Get some rest.
Oh, I will. Don't try to be a gentleman. I want my turn.
Of course.
Avos lays his head down and looks out over into the valley, trying to fall asleep.
Keltiel makes her bed up by her sister as usual.
Yuya will quickly kind of settle in, wrap her arms around her sister.
Wrath lays by the fire, his eyes closed, and he's still immediately. Anyone who would look at his face can see a shimmer of light shining from inside his eyelids, brightly enough for a very, very, very faint glow as he dreams.
And can you make a willpower check for this dream tonight?
Mm-hmm. I would love to. Oh, God.
Told you I didn't want to know.
I am really bad.
As it turns out, didn't want to know.
We're going to have to wait for a little longer for him to get more powerful. Yeah, you dream of the tree again, the glowing tree in the cave. And, but this time, there is that same sickness, the clouding vision, that kind of crushes your sight. But you also, with that, you also hear the chanting. It sounds like of several women chanting some repetitive, ancient language over and over again. I think you might actually know this language. Let me see here. Do you remember off the top of your head what languages you remember?
Hebrew, Kothon, and Chan.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, just some ancient dialect you can hear chanting over and over, several women, and you can hear kind of screams with that, and that is your dream for the evening. Sadly, no awesome premonition. And the next day comes, and you guys are back on the road again in no time. Keltia, you did have a good roll on the check, right? I think you rolled a 9.
Yeah, it was decent anyway.
Let me check real quick, see if you get stuff there. And within a few hours of the next day, you guys arrived to Skorraey.
Before they enter the town, Kiel puts that. Well, actually, how well known is she in Skorraey? Do people know that she's an alchemist?
Yeah, yeah, people would know you, and people know you studied magic under, uh, what's his name?
Vagrant.
Vagrant, yeah.
All right, so no point in trying to hide that.
You guys come up to the valley. It looks out over Skorraey. You can see the town is very dark, very desolate.
Something's off.
The road winds down to the village, and the once grand village with a population close to 250. Now it's barren, empty, and silent. The banner still flies. The artistry of the crow still wavers in the tattered hide, and the symbols that pay homage to Beoclade are seen still standing. Yet all of the houses are dark, covered in snow, and deathly silent. There's no smoke leading from any of the chimneys, and no sign of any movement from here. From this distant vantage point, you can see the waterfalls cascading down to a mill very far off and near the base of the mountains, on the far side of the village from you. The water cascades down to the mill and into a nearly frozen lake. That is where the mines are said to be, in the caves. Yet, even still, there's oddly no movement, and you notice on the far side of Skorraey, Jarl Growl's manor still looming in the distance high up on the hill. At the highest point of the manor, there is a window with a dark balcony. Keltiel, you recognize that window immediately. You remember even though the window is black, you recall many nights looking towards the window, and the warm flame within was comforting on cold nights. It was the home of Asmund, the Jarl's advisor, a known warlock. He lived in that window. Avos breaks the silence with a troubled grunt. By the gods, now what do we do?
We go in. There doesn't look like anyone is here, but we must find out what happened.
And Yuya kind of clutches her chest, clutching her holy symbol, and looks out towards the town.
We must find out what happened to these people. And if they're at an unfortunate end, we must send them off well.
Hunter taps on Ellis's shoulder. Bring the wagon down to the edge of the village and turn around facing the way we came in case we have to leave quickly.
Farthnar has his bow and already has an arrow drawn, knowing that whatever was done to this town, the perpetrators might still be there.
Keltiel quickly dons some of the hide armor they had found, fastens it kind of crudely around herself, and points at a building. There, that one there used to be the herbalist, and that manor house up there, there was a warlock who lived there. Did she like him? You said that the light was comforting, so...
Yeah, you had imagined him being, having such a great job being the Jarl's mage, So you didn't know him very well, so you had seen him in events.
But the herbalist I knew her some about as well as anyone else. Let us look there first.
And Yuya kind of grabs one of the bows. She grabs a few arrows and puts them into a quiver kind of awkwardly, and stringing them along her back.
Alright. By the goddess, I hope some people still live. We still need to take some items back home.
There's no smoke, sister. I don't hold out much hope, but there may be something still in the town that will help our village.
I hope so.
So the Jarl's estate, is that light still shining from it?
No, it's completely dark right now. You guys still have maybe 2 hours before it gets dark again. So this would be the following day, almost camp time again.
Wrath just says, I do not know what the point is scouring this place. It is gone. If there are supplies we need, we should take them and go to the cave.
Aye, but we must see if there's anyone still left.
No one is left. Pray
But
they
it-
find corpses.
We need to know what happened so we know what to expect.
We know what happened.
Night is approaching. Night's approaching, and while it didn't help them, there's still the Jarl's home is somewhat of a fortified compared to sleeping out in the open. If whoever or whatever did this is still in the area, we'd have a better chance there.
Unless it is full of walking dead.
Only one way to find out.
The dead can walk outside as well as inside. Keltiel just starts striding off. She wants to look at the herbalist place, both because she kind of liked the lady, but also because she's hoping that there are some supplies left there.
Yeah. Avos takes the wagon. He says, "So perhaps I should look for the granary. Maybe get some. Fill the wagon up at least. While you scour the buildings."
Is it far? I don't want you to get out of earshot.
No, it is not far. It should be down the road right here at the tavern down there.
Avos can take care of himself, don't worry.
Do you actually believe the town will still be standing when we return? He shakes his head and looks to Keltiel. I will come with you.
Good. And she looks at her sister. Are you coming, or do you wish to look somewhere else? Don't go off by yourself.
I do wish to see if there's any time of crisis. I usually go to the church. Maybe there's still some people there. Where is it?
Keltiel will think she didn't go to church while she was here in Skorraey. But I'm sure she can remember where it is.
Yeah, you remember where the temple is, and Farthnar actually has a map. Would you like to show them this map, Farthnar?
I would.
Okay. It's not a grand map or anything. It's just a very simple map. Let's see here. Looking around at most of the houses here, it seems like there's many farmsteads and where they would keep some of the burn and things like that. Can you guys see that map?
Yeah.
So you guys would be coming down from the road there at the bottom and entering there. And the manor is at the top, which is walled in the picture, and the mines and the lake are behind it. The temple is one of the larger buildings in the northern part of it. Or actually, the temple is to the western part of it.
That kind of U shape.
Yeah, that's the temple. And on the eastern northeastern part of it is a grand hall where they trained soldiers and stuff like that. Vagrant's place was in the center, and that's where you'll find the herbalist and things like that.
Okay.
Probably, resupply, herbalist, any sort of weaponsmith, armorsmith, Fletcher, and then probably the Jarl's mansion or manor lab.
I'd like to go to the temple.
Do you guys want to check any of these houses here that you're at?
Maybe just peek inside one or two.
I would check the nearest one.
Keltiel's pretty aware that.
All right, yeah, you can go ahead and move to the closest one. Your miniatures there. Tokens. Miniatures. Huh. And whoever wants to go in first.
Farthnar will lead the way. He'll kind of do the knock a few times and doesn't expect an answer, and then pushes the door open and kind of cautiously goes in.
Does anybody have any weapons in their hands?
Oh yeah, Wrath definitely has his sword out.
Keltiel has her hands out.
Farthnar
Gonna
has
catch
his
these hands.
bow.
Arner would have his bow ready.
Farthnar, when you walk in, you can see the fire, the place where the fire once rested there. It's all ash, and it's been out for some time. Very cold. No signs of any activity. The place looks pretty barren, pretty raided, even. You notice that the cots and everything haven't been slept in a while, and there's even a little bit of weathered snow coming in at the doorway there. Doorway is open.
Was there any sign of like a struggle inside, resistance of any kind? Anything to give an indication of what happened? Or did they just disappear or not come back?
Everybody can make a perception check, please. Farthnar, so you can click on the token that'll have the attribute checks up there. Nice. Yeah, when you're looking around, you notice in the bedroom there's blood on the floor. You notice it looks like from the spray of it that someone might have been hit with maybe an axe or a sword or something, and then even dragged. Now there's no body though. It seems like they're missing, and even the chest had been looted.
there any indication it might have been the Undar? Is this kind of is any of this their MO with them coming out of the north?
It is very possible, you think, because the Undar would take the bodies, because the Undar would take them to eat them.
Farthnar kind of kneels down where the blood is and kind of runs a finger over the dried blood and looks around while on one knee and sees this spray pattern and the valuables taken and kind of stands up and turns back to Keltiel and Wrath and goes, whoever it was, they came in for blood and supplies, and it looks like they have it.
Well, that's good news and bad news, I suppose. If it were undead, I don't think they would have much use for supplies, for all these things that are missing.
Exactly. If it was undead, they wouldn't have used kind of the weapons. It doesn't look like something an undead would do. They wouldn't have taken the bodies with them, and as you said, they wouldn't have raided the room for supplies.
Wrath is standing in the doorway listening, and he says, "Then there is nothing here. They would have picked it clean."
Barbarians may be brutal, but they're not the smartest. There's a possibility that there's something left behind, something they missed, some other
Something they don't understand is useful, maybe.
And Hunter, you said you're going into that other one? You and Yuya?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alright, you guys, you go in there and go ahead and, did you make perception checks? You and Yuya make them. Nice. You, Hunter, you noticed the blood splatter as well. Someone else tried to defend themselves, or someone was cut down in here. Looks like from some type of bludgeoning weapon. And the blood, you gather a little bit of extra information too. The blood possibly seems like it's only weeks old, maybe. 1 week, I'm sorry.
Hunter looks at it, and it hasn't been long.
What do you mean?
It's dried blood. It's not that old. A week, maybe 2.
Oh no. These poor people.
There's more to check.
Maybe they could be somewhere else.
Hunter would look to... He would start gradually making his way towards where Avos' cart is, checking homesteads along the way.
Keltiel would try to intercept them and, exchange information, but she still is pretty set on checking out Vagrant's old place.
As you start to look for the signs of Avos and the wagon are gone, and it is actually the hunter and Farthnar that notice movement from the backsides of these buildings. You can see someone is creeping up, or trying to at least. From the north of this map and the south side of this map. Looks like they're trying to surround you in some way.
Hunter will stop intense. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. Farthnar copies Hunter. He draws his bow and looks to one direction and nods to the other direction and goes, "We have company."
a lot. Back to one of the buildings. Fast.
What? What building?
This one. And he points to the one that they were just in.
Inside?
One way in, one way out.
A choke point. Hurry. And Wrath would be the last one in.
Farthner is going to stay out, and once he sees what's coming and in range, he'll probably, depending on what it is, send an arrow their way.
Keltiel positions herself at a window.
And everybody go ahead and give me an initiative roll while I set these guys up.
Keltiel's quick.
Fiery even.
She jazz hands them to death.
You better believe it.
Those are some dangerous hands.
We're gonna catch him.
Especially for if you're in the party.
Not just for them.
Yeah, you may not want to be actually in this close quarters with me.
We're in the building.
That's God armor will put you in front.
You notice the one come around the bush up there, another one behind him, and it seems like there might be a couple of coming around the building that you guys are hiding in, trying to come around in the back where that tower is. Keltiel, what do you want to do first?
Can she see any of them?
Let's see. As you, not from that vantage point right there, I don't think, unless you come out of the doorway.
Well, yeah, I mean, if she can't see anything from there, she's trying to, are there no windows in this place?
No.
Yeah, then she'd definitely be peeking out the door. She's gonna try to torch one. I guess the one that she sees right now is the one that says grave.
Mm-hmm.
So that's what she's gonna try to do. Ignite that. Whatever it is. What does it look like?
The guy that's coming out it appears to be a mortal. He's wearing some kind of like a burr and skull and furs
kind of
and
what?
looks like an Undar.
Oh, gotcha. Did my +1 for taking the green spells get added, or should I modify?
I'll check for you real quick. I think it should be in there. I believe I updated everybody's stuff.
Okay. Well, not a great roll.
Is it on there?
Yeah, it says +1.
Okay, cool. You trying to ignite him?
Okay. Well, she's gonna go again.
Okay. He has no way to attack you back right there.
Another crappy roll.
10 is the target number. He's hit.
All right. Bad damage roll, but there you go.
15 damage. All right. He's wounded, and yeah, you notice part of his arm and his cloak catch on fire.
Yeah, so if he's on fire, he'll burn next round too.
And do you want to?
Shoot. So it would take one frenzy to cast again.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think at this point she'd be probably trying to take him out fast, so.
He's hit again.
All right.
Oh, that's a kill. What's that look like?
All right. Her stomach tightening and a little bit of panic. She comes out, peers around, spots the Undar. She points her finger at him, and as the tip of her finger kind of starts to glow red, he starts to spark, and soon his cloak catches. As he struggles to kind of put it out, she narrows her eyes and narrows her focus, and she says a word in another language, and suddenly he's just consumed in a column of flame, writhing and screaming and falling to his knees and then into the snow.
Nice. And then it looks like it's their turn. You notice that one drop, and all consumed in flames, and you can hear the shout of another one. He shouts in their dialect, "Oh, da da da," and comes around the corner here. But he only makes it to there, and he's charging with an axe in his hand towards Farthnar and Wrath. But that's as far as he gets, and he doesn't throw anything or anything like that. Around the back corner, you notice movement as well, and Priestess, Hunter, you can see them like between the boards. There's no windows or anything, but you can just barely see shadows moving, between the boards of the building. Some of the these buildings here are not terribly well made, but you can just hear them moving and running around the corner. And now some of them are shouting out orders and things like that. A couple of them jump over that fence there, and then that is it for them. It is Hunter's turn.
Does this building have a door on it, or is it open?
Which one are you talking about?
The one that we're in.
Oh yeah, no, it's open.
What is in the room with us?
You can see a barrel in the back of the room. The fireplace. So there's a rod, basically a metal rod, that could be used as a projectile, I guess, if you wanted to throw it. There's a bench, and a couple of fur beddings, and a couple of benches, and a shelf, actually, wooden shelf. But it looks like everything else has been looted in here.
Hunter's gonna test the bar. How heavy is it? The one in the fireplace?
It's a little bit heavier than an actual spear would be.
Would I be able to lift it myself?
Yeah. You could use it as a projectile.
Hunter's gonna pick the bar up, and kind of stand waiting next to the door. And Wrath, Farthnar, get in. Just kind of waiting there. I'm gonna hold my action. I'm gonna try to prop the bar, um, to where if you're coming through the doorway, you gotta jump it pretty much. If there's something I can prop it against here.
You could lay it on the bench. You want to set up a little mini trap there?
Basically, yeah. I just want to try to set a bar up against it, and I would wait until they're in and then set it, pretty much.
Okay. So we'll say it's. I'll put you behind Wrath for right now. Wrath, your turn. Hunter just says, Wrath and Farthnar, come in here. I think that's what you said?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then Wrath turn.
Wrath hears what's going on behind him, turns over his shoulder, and figures that Hunter has some sort of plan, and backpedals back into the room. I guess that'll be it. Unless there's a delay action I can do to attack anybody that comes in.
You want to say you're holding your actions as well?
Yeah.
Okay.
But I did move, obviously, so I don't know how that would work, but...
That's cool. That'll be fine. And then Priestess Yuya.
Alright, so Yuya is going to walk over to Wrath, and again, kind of placing a hand on his shoulder, and cast Hard Flesh.
Yes!
Does be a cast check for that? Yeah.
Yes, unfortunately. Nice.
And she, here. And she kind of, I guess, used her other part of her turn just to, aim at the door with her bow.
Okay, yeah, ready's the bow.
Yeah.
Cool. And Farthnar?
So how many action points do I get? This is my first combat. I want to make sure.
You have 2. Pretty much drawing a weapon is an action, and attacking a quick attack is an action. You have a bow, though, so you have an ability called Deadeye, or a talent, I should say. Aiming is one action. It gives you an additional +2 to hit. So you could aim and then fire for your second action.
I'm looking to do a quick attack for one action and then running into the inside. I didn't know.
All right. You can actually move without wasting any actions. Movement isn't an action. So you can do that. That's fine.
In that case, I'll do the heavy attack because I believe I have the, what is it called? Deadeye.
Yeah.
Which allows me to do that.
Mm-hmm. And then when you hit attack, just go to bow, and then it'll pop up an input value thing. You just put a 2 in there because aiming will using Deadeye as an aim as well. So it'll give you an extra +2 to hit.
Wah, wah.
Oh, he rolls a natural 1 to defend, which means it's armor defeating. Go ahead
And I
roll the
did a
damage.
power shot, so it's double.
Yeah, so when it comes up power, the input value says power, just put a 2 in there and hit enter.
And nothing for modifier. Okay.
Yeah, no modifier. Yeah, that is a very serious wound. So he has to make a body save or he's in trauma. Zero success, so he is on the ground screaming for this round. Go ahead and tell us what that looks like.
Farthnar kind of has been dealing with Undar long enough to know that it's good to get as many shots as possible before they get close, so he brings up his bow and aims and unloads, and it hits him right below the collarbone and shoots out the head of the arrow shoots right out the back of him, and he goes tumbling in the snow, just trying to grab it instinctively. Only makes it worse as he tries to pull it out, and he just kind of screaming. And then Farthnar kind of smirks and turns around and heads for the door.
Alright, and then it will be... Oh, Wrath's still holding his actions.
If anybody moves in the door, I'll attack him, but otherwise he just waits there.
Keltiel, cheers again.
So have we barred the door and everything?
I would have done so, yeah. As soon as both of them were in, I would have dropped the bar, tried to set it up, try to prop it.
Okay, Hunter, yeah, go ahead and make a trap check. And then it'll actually be Keltiel's turn. Nice. Nice. Alright, Keltiel, are you doing anything?
She just kind of steps back into the room, watches what Hunter's doing, positions herself farther away from the door, kind of gestures to her sister to get back, but she's basically just holding her turn.
You're all basically waiting on them now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Alright, comes back around. He's lost his turn. The others are moving. The first one bursts through the door, and he's going to make a perception check, and I bet he's going to fail it. He does. He ends up tripping over your trap there, falling onto the ground. And Wrath, I think it's your turn after...
Yeah, I was one of the ones.
Yeah,
he immediately Wrath tries to stab him in the back as he splays out on the floor.
Okay, he's going to get a negative defend. Do you want to do a quick attack or a heavy attack?
Quick. Actually, I'll do a heavy. So the modifier is what on that?
Actually, no modifier for you.
Oh gosh. Jeez, I've been rolling really well.
So that's a melee fumble.
You want me to click it?
Yeah, go ahead.
One dead priestess coming right
Oh no! Don't hit my sister!
Go ahead and roll a d6. 1, 2, 3 will be yourself, and 4, 5, 6 will be somebody else.
You, yeah.
Oh, be me.
Here comes the damage. It's gonna explode.
Oh, goodbye.
The double.
Oh, this is how you ends.
Oh shit.
I have. Oh.
It's half. It's so it was.
No,
it's only half. So I think you just take that amount because it would have been 44.
Yeah, it's half damage. So 12 damage, and then minus your armor.
I don't know if I have any. Let me check.
Yeah.
I have 1 armor. So 11.
That's what you get for getting too close.
I told you to stand back, sister.
And I think you can go again if you like.
Finish her.
Sure. So
Wrath could have hit her.
Wrath swings and completely misses. and his blade just cuts her across the leg. And he just turns and begins to try to hack down at it, completely oblivious that he just hit Yuya. Alright, here we go. That's better.
Oh, critical hit there.
Wow, what a bizarre one.
Yeah, seriously.
1 into 20. It's like
Just needed a
yeah.
practice
Yep.
swing.
And this will be. Well, this was a heavy
Yeah.
attack. So this is going to be a 4 on the power damage.
So 4 modifier.
No.
Oh, the
no
multiple,
modifier.
right?
Yeah,
It's pretty terrible, actually, but
that's a kill though.
yeah, his second swing is just down across the back of the neck. The sword digging into the wood beneath as he just chops off the head. And that's all for me.
And then the other comes around the corner here. He only gets to right there. You can hear some chanting.
But the door's shut or open because of the other
Doors.
guy.
Door's been open.
Yeah.
It's just the bar that's there.
Oh, can I take my hell deck?
Yeah, I'll put you up here.
All right. Well, if she sees that guy, and especially if he's chanting, she's going for it.
Yeah, go for it. He's hit. Oh, that's a kill.
Sweet.
What's that look like?
Keltiel was at first just kind of a little preoccupied with her sister crying out, but when she hears chanting, she looks up over the dead body of the decapitated Undar and points her finger at the barely visible figure, and he again is consumed in a column of flame, screaming, interrupting his chanting.
And Yuya, your turn.
Yuya, she's whimpering a bit. She takes some steps back. And she unknocks the arrow, reaches down to the giant gash on her leg, and attempts to heal herself.
That's a success.
Wow. I think I did it right.
Oh,
You use your multiplier.
I didn't.
yeah, that's times 3. So 18 back.
Oh.
See, now I don't feel as bad.
She places her hand on her leg and chants a few times. You see her hand kind of lighting up. This energy as the wound just quickly kind of seals. All that's left is just the blood stain on her outfit. Stands back up. She looks to Wrath nervously. Again, just having the bow in her hands, but looking towards the door, fighting.
Farthnar, your turn.
Farthnar, seeing Ras both lethal and reckless swinging, decides to take a step back in between the two women and draws an arrow from his quiver, knocking it in his bow and waiting for the next Undar to come barreling through.
Hunter, what are you doing?
Hunter, is Hunter able to see out the doorway to any of the other ones coming, or are they just out of view?
If your token can see him, then you can see him.
I don't think dynamic lighting's on, Rogue, just so you know.
Yeah.
No, I can see air.
Yeah.
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
I see and hear many boys running about.
Let's see here.
It looks like it's not on the page, if I had to guess.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see. Okay, so you probably can't see him from that vantage point, but you noticed some run by.
Okay. So. Hunter's probably going to go ahead and back up a few steps and train an arrow on the doorway. Just waiting. I'll shoot the first one that I see, as I imagine that we all will be.
This one is going to try another body save, see if he can awaken out of his... No, he's still laying there screaming. And I think he's bleeding to death as well.
I think it's at D6 HP per round.
Okay, so he falls unconscious. And bleeds to death. Because I doubt anybody's going to save him.
Wow, it didn't even give you the chance.
I was going to.
Yeah, you can be converted.
Everyone can be converted.
We should keep one alive, but I won't say that until
We'll see.
it looks like we're gonna.
I would take that shot if I have it.
Yeah, you probably got one of him.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this would be an aim and shoot since I have quick draw. I don't have to waste an action on the reload, or the load, I should say. So, it's a standard quick attack aim shot. It's +2 for aim, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, nice. So she comes running around the corner there and is hit. It's not a kill, but a wound. And is that it for you?
Yeah, I think so for right now. So he knocks and fires real quickly. Arrows to the shoulder. And then begins to go for a second one, but that'll be the end of my turn.
This one comes in and swings at Wrath. He is going to attack you with his blade. This is going to be one quick attack, actually 2 quick attacks. Do you want to use your
Yeah,
shield?
I'm gonna block.
Okay, so on your modifier, just put a 3 in there.
Okay. Defense. Oops. What is that?
Got that
That
hard
one is.
flesh,
Yeah, I got
too.
hard flesh as well, but that's only if I'm hit, I think, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So my modifier and my shield is what for defense?
Yeah, when your modifier pops up, just put 3.
Okay.
Cool. Yeah, you're able to block that, and he comes with one more. And just same thing. Oh, that's a you get a riposte, single action back at him for
Okay.
that one.
Here it comes.
And he's just going to try to dodge. He's able to duck underneath it.
Yeah, Wrath just brings his shield up and smashes the first one aside. The second one he catches with the lip of the top of his shield, pushes the arm up and swings his sword at the guy's belly, but comes up just short.
You notice some chanting outside, and let's see here.
I had a held action. Is that still good?
Oh yeah, go ahead. You can go.
I will do. Let's see, 1 to put an arrow in, and then 1 to.
Yeah.
You might have quick draw. I don't remember.
No, he didn't have
I
it.
don't think I did.
I wish he did, because he has rapid fire.
Yeah, that's the next
Oh,
thing
that's
I'm
right.
getting,
Yeah,
by
he's
the
got
way.
Deadeye armor and rapid fire.
Alright, so I'll do a quick shot here.
And this is the one that's fighting Wrath right now.
Yes, the Skull Hunter.
He has to try to dodge this one anyway. But he does not. Was this a Deadeye, did you say?
No, this was a quick shot.
Okay.
Is there a modifier in the power?
No modifier, no power
I didn't think
damage.
so.
But you'll be able to use that last action to draw another arrow, and then you can burn a frenzy to fire another shot. 13, that's a wound. And then your little red bubble there, if you take 1 away from that, it means you burned a frenzy, and you're able to burn a frenzy to use another action if you want to fire another shot.
I will do that.
You're able to burn up to 2 frenzy per round, but if you can't use them for drawing actions or anything, just attack actions.
Gotcha.
It's an excellent defense. He's actually going to try to throw his blade at you.
Jesus Christ.
He doesn't need it.
It was a lame throw. Now you can. Oh, actually, you have a bow in your hand, so yeah. Just hit defense and then put physical defense. No modifiers. Yeah, the blade flies past you and sticks into the wall.
Farthnar kind of ducks out of the way and looks behind him as it's sticking in the wall and looks back at the hunter, Skull Hunter, very annoyed.
And then you hear chanting outside. And You hear shouting. Nothing else happens. You guys don't notice anything happening right now. And it's Wrath's turn.
Wrath is gonna try to strike this thing down with a rage attack.
Armor defeating. He has no weapon to try to block.
Damage.
Was this a
Yep.
heavy one?
So
Nice.
it's-
I made two.
Okay.
Two in the one, yeah. Oh, that's a kill.
Yeah, as he
Exactly.
throws the blade, Hunter just runs him through under the armpit with his short sword, kicks the body over. And then I'm actually going to... Can I split my attacks, right? So can I attack, maneuver, and attack? Or attack, move, and attack?
Yeah. Yeah, once you start burning frenzy, you can no longer move.
Yeah, so I don't really need to do that yet. So he moves here into the doorway and attacks the ram with a heavy attack. If I can do that.
Yeah, is that 2 frenzy you're burning?
Well, that would my first action point would be to attack the guy, right? Or does that that takes 2, right? Okay, yeah. All right, yeah, that's what I'll do. I'll burn 2 frenzy to do that.
Yeah.
Actually, no, I'm gonna stay where I am actually, and I'm gonna.
You want to
Yeah,
stay?
I'm gonna stay and wait.
Okay. Don't get greedy.
Yeah, don't get greedy.
Break ranks. Caltiel.
All right, she's gonna try to finish the job.
She is kicking ass with those ignites. That's a hit.
Ah, crap
And-
damage.
A wound.
And
Yeah.
he had already done. How many did Wrath do?
Oh, I killed him.
Oh yeah, you
Ram.
didn't hit this guy yet. Okay. All right. Well, she's casting again.
I was holding my breath.
Crap roll.
I was feeling it. I was like, no. Alright, that one flies past him.
Let's see. She's got 6 frenzy left. So I think she'll. Yeah, I'll. Well, he's on fire. You know what? I'll just.
Savior.
I'll let someone else finish it. Yeah. More mana is what I'm
Priestess.
doing.
Yeah.
Oh, do you have battle chant? If so, you can do that.
No, I don't yet. She does.
Yeah, Yuya is going to spend an action to knock the arrow and aim, and then frenzy to shoot Ram.
Is this her first try with the bow?
Oh boy.
First person.
First person.
It's only
not
fair
that
she
good.
gets
that's
Wrath.
Here comes the one. Nope.
Oh, nice.
Nice shot. Oh, it's sailing through the air. Oh, of course.
Not
Ducks it.
there.
That sucks. Was your arrow already notched? Can you draw another one and use a frenzy to fire?
It wasn't before. No, she spent it healing.
Oh, okay.
I'm going to
So-
do battle chant this turn.
Nice. Get some mana back. Alright, bad guy's turn. You notice shouting outside still. This one comes in. Limps in more like it. I'm just going to move that one out of the way so he's not... he comes in and swings his axe thing at Wrath, and this is going to be a heavy attack.
Okay.
So hopefully... Come on. Nice. And he fumbles.
So this...
His axe breaks.
Yeah, he catches it on the top of his shield again and just snaps over top of it. Barely hanging together by the splinters.
He's going to burn his only two
Do I
friends
get a
and
riposte
try
or
to...
no? Or is that only in certain...
No,
Yeah,
no,
it's
no,
a
no.
writ defense.
Only
Oh,
one,
I
yeah.
see. Gotcha.
So he burns his only two frenzy, and he's just going to try to charge you into the wall, kind of try to body slam you into the wall through the shield.
Okay. Should I just...
So this is an unarmed attack, and yeah, you can use your shield as a defense. Nice. You use your shield to defend it, and you totally stop
He's
him.
just pushing against me, and I'm like kneel, almost like my legs are bent and pushing back against him. I'm probably bigger than him.
Oh. That's the play I expected.
Burn us out.
I'm cool. So's Yuya.
Oh, that's the thing. No, we're good. Never mind.
And then it's going to be Hunter's turn. There's somebody chopping into the wood behind you guys, into the wall, and then the roof is on fire.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Hunter will look up at the roof, and we can see the it's like thatched or wooden, or what is it? As far as the roof.
The top is has that kind of hay-ish like look to it, and it has the some rafters up there.
Okay. Now, have I seen Keltiel put fires out before with her
Yep.
Dow's ignite?
I put out the wagon after I set it on fire.
There you go. Yeah, so Hunter would look to Keltiel and point, Keltiel, the roof, and point up and at the flame, and then he would knock his arrow. And has that person hacking at the back busted through yet?
No, he's taken a couple of hits on it, but you can just see his axe coming through.
Okay, so I can't see actually any. I can't. It's not big enough for me to shoot through, is it?
Let me see, actually. Let me roll. We'll say 30% chance, yes. No, not yet.
So he'd scan back, and then realizing he's doing no good there, he's gonna take a step, figuring Wrath has the one in the door, and he's gonna try to shoot past at the one carrying the one in bones that he had hit previously. Same thing, quick draw, aim fire.
That one's the bone you're firing at?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, the arrow flies past her.
A frenzy, quick draw, and just shoot this time.
Okay.
No aim.
Hers is a 13. She's hit. By 1 point. 12 damage. That is a wound. Actually, she falls down on one knee. Arrow sticking out of her. And that's it for Hunter.
Again.
Oh, if you can, yeah, if you got, yeah, quick draw.
Yep, I'll quick draw.
You do your last frenzy.
Mm-hmm. Yep, have 4 left now. I don't know why I rolled damage. Whoops. Getting ahead of myself.
She rolled a 19 on that one.
Yeah, we missed either way.
Farthnar.
Hunter just shoots
Oh, go
arrows.
ahead, sorry.
No, you're good. Hunter just shoots a few arrows and it's just trying to withering fire shoot through, try to get this, whatever it is, Undar, undead-looking fiendish being down, but realizes it might be immortal with the blood that is coming out of it.
Farthnar, seeing the axe coming through the wall, takes a step back, turns, draws an arrow, and basically waits for the hole to get a little bit bigger so he can fire one in there.
Okay. Wrath.
Wrath, with Undar pushed against the shield, attempts to just like take his hand and stab around the shield into the thing's gut. I'm just gonna do a normal attack here, quick attack.
Nice. Oh, he's barely able to defend against
Attack
it.
again. There we go.
Got him.
Damage. No modifier, right?
Mm-mm. And this one's just a quick one, so it's straight up. And that's a kill.
Yeah, first time he tries to stab him and he moves out of the way. Second one he disengages with the shield and chops just across his chest hard, dropping the Undar in front of him.
Keltiel.
After Hunter warns her, she looks up at the roof, sees the flames starting to lick at the bottom of the thatch, and she holds up her hands and points them at the roof, and the tips of her fingers start to glow white, and she will try to douse.
It's a success, too. You put the fire out.
She breathed a quick sigh of relief and remember seeing that Hunter had fired at someone that she can't quite see, but he can. She tries to move into a position where she can see and cast her second spell at that bone. Probably not good.
Oh, it's a hit.
Sweet.
She was even supposed to suffer a -1. Forgot to put that in there, but got her anyway. And she's pretty wounded, already on one knee. And that kills her.
Yeah, she, as the bone, it looks like it's probably moving off to retreat. She just catches it out of the corner of her eye, and her fingers start to glow red again, and the bone explodes into flame and collapses to the ground.
And Priestess Yuya.
Hearing the chopping coming from behind, Yuya will take a step back towards the wall, pressing herself up against it, and she knocks the arrow, pointing at where the hacking's coming from, and waiting for whatever it is to break through so you can fire at it.
You're also holding, right, for
Mhm.
that to happen?
Yeah. He seems a lot more relieved once the roof is no longer on fire. Seems to be kind of tense at that.
All right. You notice the guy chopping into the back. He still hasn't totally made it all the way through, but he has opened up a hole big enough for you guys to fire through. So you are free to fire at him.
All right.
I think Farthnar might be out or away right now, so you can actually go first if you like. He has a little bit of cover since it's a smaller hole. So he gets a modifier to his defense.
Oh.
And because of that cover, it ends up sticking into the wall right there, right near the hole.
Is she still seems a bit shaken from earlier, and hands kind of quaking a bit. She lets loose an arrow. It's hitting right beside where the hole is.
If you want to, you can pull for your second action and then fire with a frenzy.
Sure. Yeah, she'll knock another arrow and fire again.
Oh, made it through the hole.
Oh, I don't have damage for bow.
Shortbow is 2d8.
If you have perception, then you add. What's your perception?
Check. 15.
Yep, it's a +1. It'll be 2d8 +1. But if you want to wait just a second, I can put it in here for you.
Sure. Thanks.
Not expecting you to ever hit was.
Right?
We'll just give her the token. Yeah.
Have fun with it. Just let her have some fun.
Just for looks.
Watch her do more damage than Hunter's done this whole fight with one shot.
You've taught me well, Hunter.
Yeah.
Fucking big 36 damage coming up right here.
Like 3.
You bet your fucking house on it. Here we go.
Burning.
Alright, it is ready.
Okay.
Not quite.
Well,
Enough to wound him a little bit. It actually doesn't stick into him, but slices him. Go ahead and
Yuya seems surprised. She kind of glances over to Hunter, sees he's not looking her way. And kind of looks back to the chief.
and then you hear, start to hear them yelling in that tongue again. It looks like they're withdrawing or trying to run away. Seems like you guys have wiped out the majority of them. That one makes it to there. And you guys can pursue if you like. Is Farthnar back?
Doesn't sound like it.
No? Okay, Hunter.
yeah, Hunter would maneuver past the bodies, trap, and he's gonna take a aimed shot at this one who's running away. quick draw.
And that one's running at full speed, so she gets an additional 2 modifier for the movement, but no. That does not help. Oh, that's a kill.
Yeah, so quickly drawing an arrow and knocking it, seeing one of them sprinting away, he takes aim and fires, and the arrow flies true, sticking to the neck as it collapses in a heap. And then I wouldn't have known where the chief went, or the one who was breaking the back, but I don't think, unless I can hear footsteps, I guess.
Do you still have any movement left or anything?
That was 4, so I think I'd have
Yeah.
1 more. I don't think
Go ahead and make a perception check. We'll see. Maybe you might have seen him run through the cracks in that direction, or we'll say target number 6. Yep, you know which way he went.
Alright, so I think I had 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I moved 4, so I'd have 1 more. So I would move there and just wait. Knowing which direction he went, I would use a point of frenzy and just hold until I saw him to shoot him. If he ran through my field of vision.
Alright, Wrath, what do you want to do?
I think Mike's back, so Waterpack. Yeah.
I am.
Farthnar, you're up.
Farthnar.
They're running.
Seeing Chief stop hacking at the back wall, he'll follow Hunter's lead and move out the front door and follow his, line of sight to see what he's doing.
Okay. Yeah, you saw him too, running off in that direction. We'll go ahead and give you a shot on him.
With already having a knocked arrow, I can do the heavy attack. Is that correct?
Deadeye, yeah. Oh, well, you could do the quick attack, and then you could draw for another action, and then do another attack with a frenzy, or you could just use both of your actions and do a Deadeye shot.
I'm going to do the Deadeye, because that's +2, and then it's a double damage modifier.
Ah.
I trip over the corpses and face plant.
All right. Go ahead and roll. Oh no! Don't roll that.
That was perfect.
Shooting. Just click on the shooting. Hopefully, it's not a.
Interesting.
My arrow does one of those cliche, like the string releases, but the arrow just sits there.
Malfunction. Okay. Well, it is Keltiel's turn,
Wrath,
I think. Oh, Wrath.
So Wrath is gonna follow the 2 outside and try to see what's going on. Does he see him running?
Yeah, you can see him taking off. He looks to be like the only one left.
So that was 2. So my movement's 4. Can I forget? Can I use my action to move as well, or no?
No.
No,
You can move the rest of your movement.
Yeah, he just starts running that way, trying not to get in the way of them, but like giving chase.
Okay. Start to chase him. Keltiel?
She'll head out the building. 4.
Not trying to chase him down at all or anything?
Well, she wanted to get a look at him.
Okay.
But she wouldn't be able to without using all her movement anyway, so she ends up, like, right there.
Yeah. So you run. You basically see him running down the street. He's trying to make it to the woods. But you can see him if you want to shoot at him.
Well, she just used all her movement. She can. Would she be able to use frenzy, or I mean, she just moved like her full movement.
Yeah, it doesn't take any of your actions to use movement. So when you run to get there, since you are running, and if you try casting, it's done at -2.
Oh, okay. Well,
Is
yeah,
running
for sure.
double the movement? Oh, then I
Yeah.
would have done that. Sorry. Just to let you know, I'd probably be like right there instead.
Okay, cool. Awesome.
Oh, here we go. Great.
No, it wasn't a fumble. It
No,
was
it wasn't
just,
a fumble.
Oh,
it
good.
wasn't a fumble.
It was just, it's just a
it was
a
just
fail.
fizzle.
I like how Wrath was already on his way
Yep.
away immediately.
He's like, I'm out here.
Well, I'm gonna do it again.
Okay.
This one's going to be surrounded by a red box.
No.
It's so
Oh, no.
It's like a true
I
fumble.
told you.
No.
Oh,
You
shit.
jinxed me.
Oh, no.
The magic.
Fuck.
Everybody ready to get in the portal? Oh, fuck.
Better
Oh,
better
no.
you than me.
At least it's fire. At least it's
That's all right. It's fire. So it won't be too
You
bad.
were pretty.
She'll still be pretty. She has fire resistant.
her clothes are gonna burn off.
Don't roll high.
Yeah, I'll be prettier without my clothes.
Oh,
Wide hips,
no.
wide hips. Beware.
All right, so click on the spell effects.
Yeah.
Here we go.
Don't roll good
Oh,
for
roll
once.
good. She rolled a 1. There you go.
Oh, yeah.
Sweet, I fumbled the roll, so I don't take any damage.
Cool. Yeah.
My clothes
fire
just burn
resistance.
off.
Awesome fire resistance. The dragon.
God.
Do you want to burn a frenzy?
Yeah, I might as well.
She's
Actually,
like, oops.
I don't have. I
No
don't
more
have
frenzy.
any magic left, so no. I have
Okay.
frenzy. I just don't have enough mana to get another spell off.
The guy runs. He ends up running 8 more inches. So, he's not attacking back at you guys. So it is Yuya's turn.
Yeah, Yuya runs out and kind of skids around the corner. And she looks, kind of glances at Kelp and just wide eyes as she just kind of knocks the arrow she runs and fires the chief.
This is a good arrow shooting song.
Mhm.
I mean, get him.
Oh,
Oh,
-2 as well, because running.
that's a 1.
just barely misses him. Do you want to burn a frenzy to fire another one? Did you have to draw? Yeah.
But I'm gonna burn a frenzy to because I don't have anything in my right hand. I'm gonna cast a Aether Bolt.
All right. Yeah. There you go. Ah,
He's living a charmed life, this man.
flies right over his shoulder, huh?
But another frenzy.
Everybody wants it. They want to kill this guy.
The bloodlust.
Oh my god.
Oh my gosh.
He's a legend.
Yuya skidding around the corner and seeing her sister very thrown off. Shoots very wide. And kind of in frustration, she holds up her hand and fires 2 bolts. Unfortunately, he's too fast for her and dodging out of the way. You can see she's getting very frustrated.
All right, Hunter.
Hunter will walk over past the corpses and push past, trying to do another aim and shoot at this guy.
You've been rolling a lot of 12s.
Median. Oh, there we
That's a hit. $13 damage. Takes him to the ground.
I'll fire another burn of frenzy.
Now he's not getting that extra bonus for running. Now he's
Aim and
suffering.
Ooh, that'd be double actually if I. I'll just burn a frenzy to shoot, no aim.
Target number is 9. Oh, critical hit. He's done now.
Unless I roll like shit.
Don't jinx it.
That's not
Oh,
shit.
yeah, he's dead.
So Hunter quickly hits one, wings him, legs it, pretty much goes through his calf, and as he's going to the ground, Hunter pulls a second arrow out, just notches it, and shoots. Very simple, flies through the back of his head and out the front. And then looks for a moment. Looks around, and satisfied, holsters his bow. And then he will take his, seeing Keltiel is bare-assed in the middle of the snow probably, he would take his cloak that he's wearing, offer it to her. Your clothes are missing.
You guys
Easy
breathe easy. You see there all the dead bodies laying in the street there.
Wasn't one of them just unconscious? Or were they?
Yeah, he bled out.
He bled.
Oh, yeah,
Okay.
he's over here bleeding. You might be able to save him if you want to try.
Yeah, Keltiel will point to him and say, "Sister, see what you can do. Maybe we can question him."
Someone go find Avos.
Oh, Avos! I didn't even... And Keltiel will actually just kind of run off shouting for Avos.
Yeah, Wrath is
Yeah.
white and rushes after her.
Yeah, you can see where he went down the main road, but there's no sign of him. You notice that the one is wearing a face of someone else, possibly someone he killed. And most of them, in fact, you've noticed, are wearing skulls and things like that, perhaps maybe to even try to disguise themselves as undead. You don't know. But the thought does come to mind anyway. You notice as well that he's still breathing. He's able to be saved if you can pull off a healing skill check, or if you want to cast a spell on him. I don't know.
Well, I rolled a 7 for skill check, and Yui is a bit too weak right now to cast.
Okay.
Unfortunately.
Yeah, you're able to sustain him and keep him alive at least for a little bit. He hasn't woken up though. He hasn't gained consciousness. And you notice Hunter and Keltiel and Wrath. You notice over here a child peeking through the doorway. A little girl. She has blonde locks. Then you notice somebody grab her and pull her back into the darkness of the building. You see a larger man with an axe, and he peeks out the doorway, looking back and forth, looking down the street, and he waves for you guys to come. He looks like he very possibly could have been a inhabitant of Skorraey, and he waves for you guys to come that way, towards the house, and then disappears in the darkness as well.
Farthar kind of. You want me to carry this guy over there?
Let's make sure to maybe bind his hands.
Aye.
Good, good.
And she looks over at Kelty.
What are you looking at? Where's Avos?
Wrath looks over his shoulder and shakes his head. There's someone in there. A child and a man.
Hopefully they're friendly.
They're not one of these, that is for sure. And he begins walking forward towards the house.
Lost
Yeah,
it.
I figured something was going on.
Hunter will look to the rest and be careful. Go ahead. I have to take care of these. And he kind of gestures to all the corpses.
I will talk with these ones.
Mm-hmm.
She looks at Wrath. Does he still have his weapon out?
Wrath, absolutely.
Oh yeah, she's staying back.
Wrath heads to the door. Hello. We mean you no harm.
You notice that inside the chamber is totally empty. There's a bed over here, and you can see it's moved. And the little head peeks out, and then a bigger hand pushes her head down, and he says, "Come down down here, quick." It looks to be like a small stairway that goes down over in the back of that room. A hidden passage.
One moment, he says, and turns around and walks back to Yuya. They're under the ground. I believe they have taken refuge below.
Well, it's good to know some of them are alive.
She kind of glances down to his weapon. Again, taking a step back.
We should let the others know.
Go.
Alright.
She kind of hurries.
Can Wrath, follow the Burin tracks and the wagon tracks to see if they go anywhere?
Yeah, if you want to track him out down the road.
Yeah.
Okay. What are the rest of you doing?
Farthnar is following Hunter's kind of example and seeing what's on the corpses, stripping anything of use, knowing that the road became a lot more difficult with the seeming destruction of the town.
Okay.
Yeah. Kelt would want to see if the shaman had anything useful.
Well, was it? Was the bone a girl?
Yes, she was.
I think
Where?
the shaman was a girl too, wasn't she?
They were both, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Both the spellcasters were girls. And they were all, I don't know if you heard this before, but Keltiel, they were all kind of wearing skulls and stuff, maybe to try and disguise themselves as undead. Even this one that's still alive that you're able to keep barely breathing is wearing somebody's face. It makes him look rotten.
She makes a note of that, curiously. Still looking to see if any of these casters had anything useful on them. Looking ahead at her sister, trying to see where she...
You do it.
Sorry.
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
You just come back and she looks to the three.
There's people inside the house. They seem to have some sort of underground area of some sorts. It has to come down. If we maybe put the bodies in the house in the front, maybe Keltiel, if you want to light them on fire, make it easier.
We may have to do it the old-fashioned way. I quite wore myself out.
I know what you mean.
But the people are still alive. That is good news.
I told you there would be. I had a feeling.
Well, your faith paid off, it appears.
You know, these
And
Bezos.
how is your leg? I think that you were the only one that those Undar hit.
Oh, I'm fine. They didn't do too much damage to me. I'm alright.
Farthnar will grab the shaman, kind of drag her corpse over, and kind of says to Keltiel, it seems you've taken a chill. If you want to use any of these, kind of points to the clothes.
Yeah, she'll see what's not too disgusting to use and sort through the bags and pouches of the shaman. Yes, I lose more clothes this way. She just shakes her head.
You do end up finding some alchemical items, even what seems to be a scroll and a small book in one of the shoulder bags. So definitely some items that I'll copy down for you guys. You are able to take a few items, maybe some bone knives and axes, if you like. But you notice the man in the house. Wrath, are you still standing by the
No,
doorway, or did you
he's
take
beginning
off?
to walk after the track, since
Okay.
he won't like leave the town or get out of like earshot of anyone, but he's trying to see if he can find Avos's body or any sign of where the burn are going, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And it seems like the burn went off down this way. The tracks keep going. This man comes out of the house and says, "Quickly! There's no time! You must hide! They will see you! They will see you and we will all die! Come, hide!"
Wrath turns around. Who will see us?
And he points towards the Jarl's manor. And he said, "The cursed ones! The coat! They will come into the village tonight, and they will kill anyone they find. If they see us moving around here, they will come now. There are too many."
Oh, I have nothing left. We must find a place to hunker down and be still until we've regained our strength.
Enter. We have no time.
And he waves for you and goes back towards the secret door under the bed.
Wrath looks out into the distance at the tracks and frowns. You will never have his daughter. I did not
Alright.
need to look into the future to tell him that. And he steps into the doorway.
Yuya looks very confused. Alright. She looks over. Looking out to see if she can even see Avos.
Yeah. You don't know. You don't see anything. It seems like the tracks go around the bend there in the road. Not sure why he even went that far, you know. You can see the tavern where he said he was going to stop at. Seems like he just kept going.
These people, they survived. We can only hope that someone as capable as Avos has found some place to take shelter.
I hope so.
She again looks towards the tracks. before turning back around and heading into the building.
Reluctantly, Keltiel will pick up the things that she's found and head after her sister.
Hunter will take what corpses he's gathered together, try to start some kind of fire of the materials that he has, and then enter the home.
Everybody goes in.
Yeah.
Okay. Everybody finds the secret door under the bed. The guy kind of waits for everybody to pile in. He seems a rough, rough Northman. Beard, mustache, scraggly hair. He seems really tired and beaten. And as you go down into the room below, you find many people down there still alive. Let me move you guys over here.
Do I know any of these people?
Make a percentile check, actually. Let's see if you do. Yes. You do know, Tala and Mylik, these two, and you know Maureen. You've seen Yaren before. And they all look towards you. There's 3 little children in here as well. As you guys crawl down in here, Grill covers up. He looks familiar too. He covers up the passageway and says, "Thank the gods." He says, "I don't think they were followed. If they were, then maybe all of us would die. You are... Oh, child, do not go up there again. I tell you, do not go up there again. You're going to get us all killed." And you can see Belle over there, like, seeming like she's about to cry at him, yelling at her. "I just need to sleep." And as you guys all kind of come down here and notice that these people have been living down here for quite some time, hiding. We're going to come to an end here. As the camera pans back, you can see the town and the manor, and you can see Avos's wagon riding up the dirt road straight towards the manor. Grim look on his face, and scene fades to black.
Avos, what are you doing?
It's gotta find a wife in there.
Traitor. Yeah, because